Hello and welcome to my video today. I have my Fisker Ocean right next to me and it is going through the OS 2.6.1 software update. So I'm going to be showing you that today. So let's get started. By the way, this update is occurring right now. I made sure that the 12-volt battery was at a fairly good state of charge. It's recommended to be about 85% or more, and mine was in the mid-90s, so pretty decent. So what you can do is have the car on and it will charge it up, or I had mine plugged into the EVSE and that was charging for a little while or so to get it up into that decent amount state of charge. I do recommend having the battery in a good state of health as well. If your battery is the original one that came with the car, most of these cars are about 2.5 years old right now, it's probably a good idea to replace it if you haven't done so already. But if everything's good with the battery and it's at a good state of charge, you can go ahead with the update. So I'm going to let this sit for about 30 to 45 minutes or so, let it do its thing. Then I'm going to come back out here and show you the results. Press the brake, turn the car on. Okay, so the car is on. On the main screen, I do have this dialog that says installation complete. Your Ocean software has been updated to the latest version. Then they have a what's new and dismiss. Curious to see if I click on what's new. Does it give me anything? Nope, same old on this screen here. So I'm going to ignore that. And as we can see on the software page, in settings, it says version OS 2.6.1 as expected. I have 2 key fobs and I have fresh batteries in them. And since I also received the PKC 22 update with this OTA, I'm going to be pairing the new, well, not really pairing, the key fobs are already paired, but I am going to update these with the new version of PKC. So usually one way you can do this is either have it near the NFC reader or sensor right by the steering wheel area, and you can leave it there for a minute or so. And I'm going to do it with the other key fob in just a little bit. I think you could also leave this up on the steering wheel area. It should be good enough as well, but I think this should be fine. And I updated the 1 key fob and I ran the NRF Connect is an app that you can check the status of the key fobs, and I have them on here and it shows correctly. The old one is at 110A, which is PKC 20, and the new one is at 130A, which is PKC 22. So I'm going to do the same thing with the other fob. I'm going to press the button, and then I'm going to hold it up to the sensor and let it do its thing. One thing I've noticed, if your key fob doesn't do the update process while you're holding it up to that sensor, you could also just have it in the car while you're driving. I was able to get my second key fob to update just by driving it around for 15 minutes during the morning. So now both of my key fobs have been updated to PKC 22. And here's a list of some of the changes. We have improved battery life for the key fob itself. We have improved responsiveness, improved reliability. We can do a double press for the California mode right here. And we can double press to open and close the trunk right here.
I'm not sure if there's any additional PKC 22 improvements that we'll see over time, so I'll keep an eye on that and let you know. So let's do some testing of the key fob. The car's unlocked right now, so I'm going to press the lock button and then the unlock button. I'm going to double press on the lift gate. I'm going to double press it again. And now for California mode, I'm going to press that button twice. However, if you pressed it twice again, it doesn't close. California mode for key fob is only for opening, and I think that is due to current US law.
So the first part of this update was the PKC22 update, and that was pretty quick, less than 15 minutes or so for the download and installation. And then once that's done, you go in the car and you'll notice on the software page, it has a downloading section here. And it started out and now it's at 98%. So once it completes the download, that will be the second part of the update, which is the full 2.6.1 with the changes for the ICC. And now we can see that right here. We have a software update here, and it gives the 2.6.1.1. The 0.1 at the end there is because this is the beta, so that's just temporary. So I am going to install now, and I am going to get out of the car and give it about 30 minutes or so to do its thing. So as you can see at the top of the screen, we have installation complete. I'm going to try it again. What's new? Does it change anything? No, it doesn't. Okay, now we see OS 2.6.1.1 RC1. And there is the ICC version number. And I'm just going to quickly go through the menu again and show you the options. I don't think anything has changed very much on here. Let's see. Main. We have navigation. Music. We had this AutoKit button show up on 2.6, and not sure exactly how that works with the new version. So I guess we'll see in the future. We have phone. We have charging. Solar Sky. Trips. Then we have the AutoKit button. We have HVAC. And we have settings. Just go through those real quickly. We have general. Driving. I usually keep these all on high, but sometimes for testing, to make sure these are sticking well, I'm going to change them to medium for hyper, just to see if that is the case on startups. We have audio. Connectivity. I usually leave the Bluetooth on with the phone, and then music off, and then I usually have Wi-Fi off, and I usually have hotspot on. Let's look at display. Pretty normal. Lighting, pretty much the same. Safety, driving assistance, doors and mirrors. Interesting. Chime theme to standby time. Selecting the chime setting. So they have a chime theme selector, a little bit different than what it was before. So they have a different menu set up here. Selecting this chime setting will set your standby time to 24 hours for proper confirmation. So yeah, if you want to pick one of these, you have to do confirm. And that will change your energy setting on this screen to 24 hours. I usually like keeping it on 2 hours for least amount of vampire losses in a compromise with convenience. And pretty much the same on this page. Let's go back here again. We have the Noir, Bloom, Tech. I like the Noir, kind of bassier sound to it. So hit the back button here. And then you can have the chime set for door lock and liftgate separately. You can have those on or off. So a little bit different in how that's set up. Let's go to profile. Pretty much the same as before. Software I showed you. And vehicle and service. Got the ocean information up there. Reset tire pressure. All that's the same. So pretty much is the same menu as in 2.6. All right, so leaving the car for about 18 hours. I'm going to press unlock and see if the chimes are still the correct setting. And yes, it is. Still working. So for 2.6.1, we have some improvements for the HVAC controls. We have an HVAC menu system change here. It says for HVAC controls, users can easily launch the HVAC menu using the fan icon on the touch bar below the screen. So if I use the fan icon, and if I press it a short press, quick press is on and off. If I do a long press over 1.5 seconds, it opens up the climate control panel. Let's try that. There we go. It brings up climate control. Then you can do more settings there. Let's hold the fan speed for a couple seconds. And you notice that brings up the AC page here so that you can make adjustments on that. So it's a quick jump into that page, and then you can press AutoKit to go back into that mode. So let me get out of that, go back to the main. Now for temperature controls, it says users can easily enable or disable sync or HVAC modes using the temp icon on the screen. So a short press is going to toggle for sync on and off, and sync is the left and right fan settings. So if I press the sync right here, short press, sync, and non-sync. So it is synced right now. If I hold it for a long time, it'll change between auto and manual in the HVAC. So let me bring up HVAC so you can see. It's set for not auto right now. So let me hold this for a few seconds. And if you notice, by holding that down for a second and a half, it turns on auto and AC. If I press it again, long press, turns it off. So basically you can go from AC to just vent. So little handy thing to have. You could use that when you're using AutoKit. So if you're in the Android Auto or Apple CarPlay or using an AI box, you don't need to have the HVAC screen showing on the ICC if you want to do those features. So that's pretty handy with the last one if you want to change from auto to not auto, or basically AC to vent. Another thing I want to mention is that when you have the AC on and not just auto, you'll see indication on the screen here. So this C here indicates that the AC is on. So it is on right there. And when I press the AC, that C disappears. One more time, I'll press AC and it shows up. And if I hold this down for a few seconds, I get the A for automatic. And let's see if I am in. Oh, let's see here. All right, so I need to go into the software settings here, or actually I need to go into connectivity, and I need to have media Wi-Fi, and that's set with my phone. Now let's try AutoKit, and it should be connecting to my AI box any second now. And let me go back into that HVAC screen again. It also says on here that there have been updates, fixes, an issue where the manual or auto HVAC settings could be lost after the vehicle has been sleeping. Now the combination of temp, AC, and auto manual will be maintained. This fix is recommended to be used in conjunction with 24-hour mode. And also the setting that I showed you earlier for the chimes, let's go and do those. That is in doors and mirrors. And that chime section is also assisted by keeping the car in 24-hour standby mode to make those chimes persistent. I'm hoping in a future update that they can fix it so that it doesn't need to be in the 24-hour energy mode, since a lot of people prefer using the 2-hour or shorter. So here's hoping that that gets fixed in a future update. All right, well, that's my preview of the OS 2.6.1 OTA update for my Fisker Ocean. Went through pretty well, pretty quick update, and we have some changes and fixes, notably the PKC22, which should have some improvements for the key fob as far as battery life and performance goes, and also some changes with the buttons, double clicking for the California mode and the lift gate. In addition, the PKC should help when there are two BLE devices. Previously, there may be a crash occur when they're connected at the same time. For example, if you had a phone and a key in the same location. And it also resolves the issue when the NFC door or dash readers are damaged, allowing the user to continue accessing and driving their Ocean. We also have the VSP chime, kind of a fix. You need to leave the car in the 24-hour mode, and then it will keep that chime over cycles. So I'll be watching that over time and seeing if that's an improvement over the previous update. And also there are changes for the HVAC persistence when you have the car shut off and turn on. On some people, the settings reset, went to the default or changed what you previously had. My car didn't really have that issue, but some people did. So that should be helping out with that problem. And also we have the new button bar improvements that will allow you to make some changes, like turning the auto AC on and off by doing the button bar, as well as a long press on the fan button to bring up the HVAC settings page. So hopefully these add some worthwhile improvements on your Fisker Ocean.
I hope they do some additional software updates that are maintenance updates that are free for owners. I'm also looking forward to the OS 2.7 update, and that's going to be offering some new features as well. So hopefully that beta comes in soon and I'll be checking it out. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.